one thing I'm looking forward to is work is getting us new phones, and it's gonna have like 128 gig instead of the 64 because I keep on running out of space. And you'd think that I'd have that fixed by now. So I was talking about the Gamma V versus the Gamma 5. It is a technicality. I think most of us don't like the idea of calling it the Gamma 5. Most of my friends have always called it the Gamma 5. So I will keep on calling it the Gamma 5, but it says Gamma V on the title. And I guess, they like the Roman numerals. So there's this guy. There's one almost reconstituted. So put that aside. Get all these nice bags aside. Done. And I don't think I'm missing any parts there, which is a good thing. Most of these sets I'm not missing parts because they're classic space, and I made sure at the time that I got all the parts and pieces for them. This is supposed to go. This is supposed to go. There we go. And through years of collections and putting them back together, that I didn't have a want or worry that I didn't have the pieces. It's just the later sets that I've got in the past couple years that they are missing parts and pieces. When I was collecting when I was younger, it was almost a given that when I bought a collection that it had all the parts and pieces for the specific set that I was getting. And I don't mind now the fact that they don't. Most of them don't. Almost everything that I've purchased over the last bunch of years, I've had to, again, bricklink and/or you've seen it. I had to get parts out of my collection to finish the set. Don't mind that at all. But for me, it's so cool when I get a set these days, because it's almost the exception. It is the exception to the rule now. When I get the parts and pieces to a collection and it has all the parts there. It doesn't happen frequently at all. And again, as I said, I don't mind that most times I don't get all the pieces, because I do have fun just reconstituting them from parts from my collection. Excuse me. Sandy made us a very nice dinner tonight. It's just, I'm the most luckiest guy on the planet. Come on, there we go. So I will keep on singing the praises of my beautiful wife. And what is this? It goes right here. It's been a while. That goes on top. I think this is the only one that came with the robot, because the robot, I was running out of the arms. And so to reconstitute the robot, it looks like I only have this one, although I think I'm missing a helmet. So I do have a space guy missing a helmet. C'est la vie. Put this back together and put this here. So in the end, as I keep on saying, old space is cool space. There we go. So forget these guys in the background, and this guy can go up here or somewhere. What do I do? Okay. So I have back there a robot. I might try to reconstitute some more robots today. Don't know yet. And this one, and this one. There we go. That's not bad. That's not shabby at all. That is not shabby at all. 6. 3 Gamma 5s and 3 FX Starpatrollers. Mostly, yeah, besides the robots and some of the minifigs. It's not bad. It's somebody asked, like, one of my TikTok videos, because I happen to have, I made those TikToks of all the 924s and 928s and 918s and 6980s. Those things are expensive these days. Yes, they are expensive these days. They really are. Like everyone that I reconstitute, they're expensive. I get it. I honestly get it. My problem, it's not my problem. The problem is that I got most of these sets I won't say pre-internet, because most of my Galaxy Explorers came through eBay. but pre people wanting to retire and buy a cottage with the Lego they're selling, if you want to call it that way. I get why Lego is expensive, especially the older stuff, because it is very rare. Am I hoarding? I don't know. I don't believe so. But when you look at it, I did have 8 totes full of stuff in the garage. But I started collecting this stuff pre-internet. I put ads in the paper and people called me. I went to garage sales. I did not. Well, I was actively looking. I really was. And then when we started doing shows, and Jeff and I would walk around the show with the vendors who were selling stuff, and there was a bin of Lego, we would buy it. And it really, at that point, unless it was really icky and or non-Lego, we would just buy it. It wouldn't matter what was in there. Now I'm getting to be pretty picky as to what I'm going to buy. Like, I let that bucket go past until my buddy Paul says, there's a M-Tron minifig in there. Oh, okay, now I'm interested. I did not check that picture nearly as close as he did. So this is why I have the friends I have, because they do this work. And I appreciate them for it. So now I'm interested, because it was $15. Now, again, whether or not I get it, and if I don't get it, I'm not going to lose any sleep over it at all. But the fact that, for $15, I'll do it. I'll do that for $15. I won't start quoting RoboCop or anything like that. But it's my hobby, and I'm having fun doing this kind of stuff. And I don't go now as hard as I used to. Like, I used to go and yeah, I even got all the right, because I'm looking at those ones, because I had some of these in white before, but I did a Bricklink order on that. So, that's why the extra, now I remember this now, that's why I have the extra gray rocket I mentioned the other day. It's because I did a Bricklink order to finish one of these, because I was missing a gray rocket, and I was missing the gray 2x2 slope with the panel on it, with the black and with the gray dots on it, the gray buttons on it. That's what I remember now. So I like this. This makes me happy. Now, I don't have the space to go really stupid on it. And again, I also know people, close friends of mine, who have far bigger collections than I do. So I don't appreciate the term hoarding, and I don't appreciate the people thinking that because we have this, that they lost out, they missed out on this. I cannot help the fact that I never had a Dark Ages. I can't help that. I never even thought about it, because pre-internet, I was the only adult who actually played with Lego that I knew of in the planet. And so I look back at those days when I was like putting the ads in the newspaper and driving all over the Hamilton, Burlington area to pick up totes of Lego for $40, $50, $60. And a set here for $10 that was like retailed for $80 the year before, well, a couple of years before. I bought one of those jungle adventure kits that had the raised base plate and the river going through it, and whatever, had those really unique characters that you never see anymore. But I got one of those for like $20. I mean, no box, no instructions, but the whole set was together when I went to the kid's house. And he said he got it and he left it on the shelf for 6 years, and it was completely dusty. I had to take the whole thing apart and wash it. But I got that set for $20. Right now, it's rolled into the collection. I should build it again at some point. But I didn't mind it, and they didn't mind selling it to me. Now it's worth something. Now people want stupid money for Lego sets. Now, whether and the fact that the prices are escalatingly getting higher for specific types of sets, old, new, whatever, it's getting, to me, I never wanted to pay lots of money for Lego, because to me it was always, retail for kids for birthdays and Christmases and stuff. So I never been one of these guys, I never thought about this was my collection, my collector for my retirement, and I can start selling it and make lots of money back. It was never my intent to begin with. Some people now, as we all know, we talked about it for almost decades now, some people are buying new sets leaving them in the box, putting them in the storage room, and waiting 6 years, and then selling them for twice as much or 5 times as much or whatever they can get for it. And all the power to them. Now, it's just like going to a rock show where you get the scalpers who go out and buy all the tickets for whatever Taylor Swift concert or whatever it is, and then they start selling them 10 times as much as the ticket value is. I don't know how you combat that. I think it's wrong. I think doing that is wrong. But I bought most of these sets, at least one off the shelf at the time, and I pays my money, whatever the money was at the time, whatever they were asking for it, and then I put ads in the paper, and then I went to flea markets, and then whatever they were asking for it, here's the money. So there was no reason for somebody to be mad at me for having this big a collection. There isn't. Yes, I'm sorry if you weren't there. I can't help you. These kids these days have other opportunities that I didn't have and don't have and will never have. A 19-year-old starting on TikTok, right? And I'm on TikTok. A 19-year-old starting on TikTok within weeks will have 250,000 subscribers and an income from that. They're influencers. Me, I couldn't give a rat's ass, nor could I become an influencer ever in my life. So it doesn't. So there's other ways of, and again, I don't buy all the new sets. One of my favorite TikTokers, Stacy, has a channel dedicated to the stuff she gets, and she likes the old stuff, which I'm right there with you, Stacy. But she gets new stuff too, and a lot of the Star Wars and the big sets and whatever. And she's an influencer, and she I believe, I would imagine, she makes money off of her TikTok channel and maybe even her YouTube channel. And she starts, and she has hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I started on YouTube 6 months after it started, so 17 years ago whenever it started, and I have 950. And I'm perfectly okay with that, because I'm not here to influence. I'm here just to blather on and, bore people to death, and, every once in a while throw out my friend Jeff's name because hey, Dave talked about me. Love you, Jeff. He's one of my favorite people. And look forward to the next show, and look forward to the next whatever we do, and look at whatever. This is why I'm here. And again, so Paul sent me that link. Hey, did you see this? And I already did. And he says, by the way, there's stuff in there that you might be interested in. I went and had a second look, and there is stuff in there I might be interested in. So now I'm going to look for that. On top of that, I because of who I've been, as I like to think, a kind, decent, considerate, compassionate human being who appreciates other people, I've donated pieces to friends. I've donated or given pieces to friends. I've donated some of my stuff to. I would safely say right now, I would have about 18 Galaxy Explorers. I would have 18. I've given away 8, I think, in my last bunch of years. I've given away 8 Galaxy Explorers. And then you saw that I got a few more in used lots last year. So I have 10 right now. So I would have had, if I was a hoarder, if I was Scrooge, my precious, if I was Gollum, I'd have 18 right now. But I don't have 18 right now. Nor at this point would I want 18 right now. No, if I get 18, I'm not going to but in the end, when I go to Bricks in the Six this year, I'll try to find something. Last year was my shelf that I got for free from a friend. I donated that to their charity auction, because that's what I do. I don't need that shelf sitting underneath my stairs like it was for the last 17 years. Donated to them, and somebody's going to be happy to have it. And so I'll find something else that is worthy of donating to the charity auction. I don't know what it's going to be at this point, but I will find something, because that's what I like to do. And it's minimum effort for me to donate something that is, uniquely me, because I've had so many opportunities in my life that other people didn't have in this hobby. I'll find something to donate to the charity auction. It might not be big, but it's going to be something, and I'm looking forward to that. And so I'd like to think that I'm a value-added service to my friends, my family, to the lugs in the area, to maybe you guys who are just bored of me talking all the time. My feedback that I get is that I'm doing something that other people appreciate, and that's all I'm here for. I don't need 100,000 people to appreciate what I'm doing. I need one person, well, mostly me. But if somebody else out there appreciates it, then I'm going to be okay with that. And if somebody comes along and says, "Oh, Dave, you are such a hoarder," and blah, and I've been told before that they look at my collection and they say, it must be nice to be able to hoard all that stuff. I'm going, I'm sorry you didn't get the opportunities that I had. I'm sorry. Like it is honestly one of those things that I've said this a million times. I was born exactly the right time for my interest in this hobby, right? Because my interest in this hobby is exactly what I have here. So, and the Technic stuff and the RCX robotic stuff. There's no battery in here. That's fine. This thing is, wow, this thing is really pooched. This is actually really broken up. And so I'm going to put it back together. Well, I'm talking to you guys because I got lots of things to talk about. So the other thing that happened to me today is my cousin called me up out of the blue a few weeks ago. And she says, "Dave, I'm downsizing." And I think this thing's called the XT. Again, there's so many names out there. Give me a sec. I'm going to go to Lego, Brick, Lugnet, and sets reference XT-1. I can't. Nope, no matches on. Okay, XT-something. Oh, it is XT, Light and Sound XT Starship. Look at me go. I'm happy. Sometimes I impress myself. Again, I'm not one of these guys. I love the people who are, but I'm not one of these guys who keeps an itemized list of literally everything. Actually, I think I should go back a few steps because this is not. So it's right down there. Anyway, so my cousin calls me up, and she has her kids. She's somewhat younger than me. And her kids are now in their late teens. And she says, "We are cleaning up here, and we have all this Lego that we had when the kids were growing up. Do you want it?" And I would not say no to that. So what happened there was she just dropped it off today. And I'm going, wow, like it is a massively huge tote of mostly Lego. Again, most people have and who are not AFOLs, they just want to have their kids, so they will have non-Lego products in there, and that's perfectly acceptable in that kind of environment. The one time when I was not happy with that idea, it was when my brother, who was meticulous when we were kids growing up about the do's and don'ts of everything that we were interested in. Like he was one of these guys who, that goes right there. And then this goes up here. And yeah, so that's perfect. He would get mad at me if I mislabeled or whatever our Lego stuff and other things, because he was meticulously, I won't say anal, but yeah, we can use that word, on this kind of stuff. And yet, when he bought Lego for Josh for Christmas, because he thinks we like Lego, he'd show up with Mega Block. He honestly did. Josh is 3 or 4. And I'm going, "Yo, dude, yo, bro, what are you doing?" "Oh, it's Lego." I go, you know better. You, bro, know better than that. This is not Lego. And, but he said at the time he didn't know. And I'm going, well, anyway, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth or anything like that. But it did. That one, I think that's the only time I've ever been bothered by getting a non-Lego set. I've collected lots of this goes up here. During my collections of everything, I've gotten tons of Mega Block. If I wanted to be an adult fan of Connects, I would have a massively huge Connects collection. Like in the Lego lots that I've gotten over the years, I've gotten so much Connects. It's not even close to funny how much Connects I got over my life. But again, I'm not an adult fan that connects. And so what happened there is anytime I got connects in a lot, I would put them separate, and they would just go back to the thrift store. And I have one black left over, and I'm just trying to figure out where the black goes. Not on the top by the looks of it. Let's see if I go back here. Not there, not there. Oh, down here. There we go. There we go. So now I have reconstituted the XT. The XT, what's it called again? Starship. I don't think I did a review on this one yet. I bought this one off the store shelves, and I loved it. The reason why I put it back together right now, because it is basically another two-part set, just like these other, the Gamma 5 and the FX Starpatroller. The only difference is this guy has a small flying ship that comes out of it, which is a cute little thing. Not heavily inspired by complexity. And it fits right in here, which is always a pain to get back in. I remember that. But I remember seeing this in the store shelves, and I bought the robot first, Light and Sound robot, because it was so much cheaper. It was a little tiny thing, right? I bought that one, and I bought this one. And then I think I got the Futuron Magma carrier, I guess whatever it's called, but it has but this is a wonderful, just look at it. It's a wonderful looking set. But when you compare it to this, and you squint your eyes, and if this thing was white or if this thing was gray, they have the same feel to them. They even have the same nose to them, right? So this is what I appreciated by these two-part sets. And then if you put the FX Starpatroller beside it, on the other side, so we'll put this one here, put this one here, put that one there. You can see there's a, let me just get these things out of the way so you can push this back so you can see it better. There we go. Can you see it all now? I think so, yeah. So you got these three. They're extremely similar, right? And this is the two-part ship. And I would say, I mean, the Gamma 5 is the smallest, is 692 something, and these things were, or 691 something, or 68 maybe, but I can't remember. They went up bigger, so 6800s to 09s overall were small, tiny sets. There's exceptions to the rule. And the 6810s and the 6820s, as the 6830s, as the numbers went up, the sets got bigger, which is what they did back then. And almost every year, they released a set in that range of 20 to 29, 30 to 39, 40 to 49, which is really neat when you look at it and then you line them all up and you see the evolution from 6801 to 68009. This was Light and Sound, so it was 6700 something. It's up 6750, I don't know, 6780. The Light and Sounds were completely off the rails when it comes to numbering. But 6800 to 6991 overall went from smallest to biggest. Now, I think 6800 was a big set. I can't remember, it was Explorings or something. I couldn't care right now. But overall, 6801 to 6991, they all got bigger as it went along. So the Gamma 5 is smaller than the rest of them. These three here, when you put them all together. But you can see the similarities across Bing, Bang, Boom. And I liked this era of spaceships. I think this came out a year before this one. Let me just see. The Gamma 5 came out in 1985, and the FX Starpatroller came out in 1980. Oh, same year. And then the XT came out in 1987. So this is 2 years after these two. These two came out in exactly the same year. And when I mentioned the lack of consistency of coloring, you can see it right now. So if you get rid of these guys, because that came out 2 years later, these two came out in the same year. And you can see the lack of consistency. Now the gray is consistent, sure, it's fine. But the trans green and the trans dark blue, the blue back here and the gray back here, like it was just, they didn't seem to care about the color palette remaining consistent across the sets. Now, would the FX Starpatroller look great in trans green? Possibly not, because they got the blue out here, which matches the blue here, which matches the blue back here. So I I can see where they use trans dark blue for their coloring. And would dark blue work here? Trans dark blue? I don't think so, because you got the gray and the black. I don't know, because there's no blue back here. This has blue back there, it's blue bricks. So having a trans dark blue matching the blue, I think is nice. Having trans green here and the blue back there might not be as nearly as nice, right? Because this is like the Galaxy Commander, where you got the blue trans dark blue cockpit and the blue and white. So would this have been better built in white, so it looks like the Galaxy Commander? It would fit into that kind of theme of the Galaxy Commander that came out a few years before, and the 6890. I don't know. But I did get a little chagrin. I did get a little, because the 3-digit sets were perfect, and they all fit together. They all looked like they came from the same manufacturing company. And whatever, and even the 6890 and the 6980 looked like they were supposed to be in the same environment. You got a big ship and a small ship, but then that's when nothing after that really matched up with literally anything else. Now, there was a common motif going across all the classic space sets, like the Uranium Search Vehicle, which was blue with trans yellow, fantastic. And then the 3-part, I can't remember what they're called, the big wheels, they were blue with trans yellow, fantastic. So blue and trans yellow made it through a lot of wheeled sets back then, but then they released a couple of them with blue with trans yellow with white stripes on it. And you're going, where did the white stripes come from? Like, why white? like why not gray or something? Like, it was just and that was a one-off, and so that was a different color palette, and it was just like slightly annoying. It really was. And again, I'm a colorblind guy, so my sense of fashion and style is out to lunch. But I don't know. I did find overall that the lack of consistency up until Futuron. They started with wonderful consistency in the very first release sets, and then just kind of like tried a little bit, but they didn't put too much effort into it, and went off with whatever they wanted for that specific set without any consideration as to how it looks with other sets. You could say the Mobile Lab and the Solar Power Transporter, it's gray and black and trans green, fantastic. So those sets kind of look the same, but then what else after that? So it is what it is, and I shouldn't be griping about it as much as I do, because after that they learned their lesson, and every single theme after that, Futuron, Space Police 1, Blacktron 1, Blacktron 2, Space Police 2, right up until Space Police 3, which to me went off the rails again, and I didn't care because I was well past my 1999. But even RoboForce has a lot more consistency. RoboForce has a lot more consistency of style and color than Classic Space 1980 to 1986. RoboForce is better for the consistent look and feel to it than 1980 to 1986 Classic Space. And to me, that's a damn shame. Like all the other series, those sub-themes of space were a lot better maintaining consistency. Now, I keep on mentioning this, I understand why they didn't, but it just got a little thick. And again, I'm willing to quote unquote forgive anything, really, because I love classic space. So anyway, so I got off the tangent about my cousin's tote out there that I'm going to do a whole bunch of videos on. So look forward to that. I am, because I have no idea what's in the bins. I have no idea in the tote, and it's bigger than my Rugged Made totes. It's very heavy. So I offered her money, and she said absolutely not. She said it's going to a good place. But so I've been weaning myself off of some of Legos, but now I got a whole bin to add back into my collection, which is a lot of fun doing. And I'm sure I'll be reconstituting sets from that for a while. I'm not going to focus on it. But every once in a while, I'll talk about my cousin's sets, my cousin's lot. of Lego, and I'm going to have a really decently wonderful time. But anyway, so on that specific note, I keep on mentioning how blessed I am. I've mentioned it numerous times, and today was just yet another data point in how blessed I was. Like when I got back my nephew's Lego, because my brother didn't want it in his house anymore, it came back in a steamer trunk, um, and the Harry Potter train that I got back, the 9-volt Harry Potter train. So it's like, woohoo! I got that back, and a whole bunch of aqua sharks and blah 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 that I used to buy them. They all came back. And that was fun. That was honestly, I mean, I was like, dude, like you're my brother. And when we grew up, and this is the other thing that my brother, this is why it's those kind of things a little bit bothered me, because when we grew up, we had the sandbox outside, we had the fields to play in, we had our bikes to ride around on and explore the entire world. But one of my biggest childhood zones is Lego. Like seriously, my brother and my sister and I, we had dominated the pool table for literally over a decade with the Lego collection on it. The play pool, we'd have to take our Lego collection off the pool table. It was more Lego than pool overall, and because we could just leave it there and then come back the next day and continue building. And as the Lego collection grew, and we got bigger boxes to hold it, my brother and sister and I would just have a blast with it. And we had so many hours growing up playing with Lego. And then the friends would come over, and I had to mention that and go to their places and play with their Lego sets. I have all these core memories of my childhood and my brother and my sister and I playing with Lego. And he was the one that taught me or showed me and talked to me about the value of consistency and how wonderful pieces. I guess he was older than me. He could build things a lot better than I could. He was more stylistically able to build better stuff than I was. And he taught me all this stuff and how this worked and how blah, blah, blah. And by the time the go-kart came out in 1977, he would have been 13 or 14, and he just started giving it up. And so then the Lego just continued with me and my sister. And then she gave it up 3 years after that because she became 13 or 14. And then life went on, and it was just me. But my childhood memories, preteen memories, of my brother and I just having a great time playing Lego. And so and him being meticulous, I won't say anal, but almost OCD about it. About this, that, and the other thing, and Lego this and Lego that, and showing me all this stuff. And so when he shows up or gives Josh a wrapped present and we're shaking his, we think it's Lego, and it's Mega Block, I'm going, that kind of, and I fully understood. I mean, it was 40 years since he even touched the stuff. So it's like, but the fact that it was so important to him back then to, be clear and specific. And again, there was no clone brands back then. He went into the store and he says, that box is $80 and that box is $40. And this box that's $40 is bigger than the box that's $80. And so that's the box I'm going to give Josh. And it was a nice set. I can't remember which set it was from Mega Block. And Josh and I put it together. But it didn't last too long because, again, Mega Block didn't. So the pieces didn't fit nicely and blah, blah, blah. Supposedly that changed after all. Don't care. I'm not an adult fan of Mega Block. I'm an adult fan of Lego. So that set didn't stay too long in the house. And it wasn't me getting rid of it. Josh had it up in his room. And again, with no pressure from me at all, Josh realizes that what's down here was a lot more fun. so that went. And that's, I didn't fight it going, but I didn't fight it to get it out the door. But he had it for a while and he loved it. And, but after a while, it wasn't as wonderful as Lego down here. But anyway, so many tangents, so little time. I'm going to wrap this up. So, I should try to find out all the other 2-part ships and we can do a huge comparison. But even with these 3, you can see the wonderful similarities between them, how they look relatively the same. I know if I brought down the Cosmic Fleet Voyager, it would not look at all like these 3 here. That's a lot different. I don't think I have anything else up there that I could pull down besides like the Invader from Blacktron, but that's 3 parts, and Blacktron was stylistically a lot different than these guys. So yeah, I think that's it then. I'm gonna call it. This has been fun. I think we're into June now. Sorry about that. This is way ahead because today's May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, or 6th. No, it's 5th because Cinco de Mayo Day. Yeah, and what I was planning on doing is I was planning on setting up my base plates over there to make another TikTok for these guys, but I don't know if I'm going to do that because that requires effort, and right now I'm tired. So, so that's the truth. I am exhausted. So that's it. That's all. You guys all stay safe and talk to you soon.